Ghostly tales, yet mirrors of human life. Hey everyone! Welcome to Encountering Chinese, Ghostly Tales from Zhai. Today, I'm going to tell you 3 short stories. The first story is titled, Old Man Du. Old Man Du was from Yishui County in Shandong Province. Once, after leaving the market, he squatted by the wall, waiting for his companions. After a while, he felt a bit tired and suddenly seemed to fall into a dream. In the dream, he saw someone holding an official document, leading him away. They arrived at a government office that Old Man Du had never seen before. A man wearing a hat with a ribbed brim came out, and it turned out to be Zhang, a fellow from Qingzhou and an old acquaintance of Old Man Du. Zhang was surprised to see him and asked, "Mr. Du, why have you come here?" Old Man Du replied in confusion. "I don't know what's going on. Someone with an official document said they needed to arrest me." Zhang, suspecting a mistake, offered to check the documents for Old Man Du and told him, "Just stand here and don't go anywhere else. I'm worried that if you get lost here, it will be very hard to save you." After saying this, Zhang left. A long time passed, but Zhang did not return. Instead, the man with the official document came back and admitted that there had been a mistake, so he released Old Man Du and sent him on his way. As Old Man Du was leaving, he encountered 6 or 7 young women with charming and attractive appearances. Old Man Du, taken by their beauty, followed them. He left the main road and walked down a small path. After just a few steps, he heard Zhang shouting from behind, "Mr. Du, where are you going?" But Old Man Du, entranced by the women, continued on without stopping. After a while, he saw the women enter a small door. Recognizing it as the home of Wang, the wine seller, Old Man Du couldn't help but lean in and take a look. To his surprise, he suddenly found himself in a pigsty, lying among several piglets. It was only then that he realized he had turned into a pig, but he could still hear Zhang calling out to him. Terrified, Old Man Du started banging his head against the wall. He heard someone say, "Has this pig gone mad?" Suddenly, Old Man Du realized he had turned back into a human. Covered in cold sweat, he quickly walked out and saw Zhang waiting for him by the roadside. Zhang scolded him, saying, "I told you not to go anywhere else, but you didn't listen. You almost ruined everything." After that, Zhang took Old Man Du's hand and led him back to the market entrance before leaving. Old Man Du then suddenly woke up and found himself still leaning against the wall. Later, out of curiosity, he visited Wang's house and was told that just a moment ago, one of their piglets had gone mad and killed itself by running into a wall. The second story is titled, The Hanging Ghost Woman. A man named Fan was staying at an inn. After dinner, he lit a candle and closed his eyes to rest. Suddenly, a maidservant entered the room from outside. She placed a bundle of clothes on a chair and carefully arranged a mirror case and a dressing box on the table before leaving. Shortly after, a young woman emerged from the inner room. She opened the dressing box and mirror case, then began to groom herself in front of the mirror. After arranging her hair into a bun and inserting a hairpin, she lingered, studying her reflection for a long time. Soon, the maidservant returned, bringing a basin of water for the woman to wash her hands and face. After the young woman had finished washing, the maidservant handed her a towel and then left with the basin. The young woman opened the bundle and took out a skirt and shawl, all new and brightly colored. She dressed carefully, adjusting her clothes meticulously, making sure everything was in place. Fan said nothing, but he was very puzzled, thinking that this woman might be someone who had eloped. He assumed that her elaborate attire was meant for a secret rendezvous with a lover. After she finished dressing, the woman took out a long ribbon, hung it from the beam in the room, and tied a knot in it. Fan was greatly surprised. The woman calmly stood on her tiptoes, stretched her neck, and slipped it into the noose. As soon as her head was through the knot, she closed her eyes, her eyebrows arched, and her tongue protruded over 2 inches from her lips. Her face turned a ghastly color, making her look like a ghost. Terrified, Fan ran out, calling for the innkeeper, and in a panic, told him everything he had just witnessed. When they both returned to the room, they found that the scene had vanished without a trace. The innkeeper then told Fan, "My daughter-in-law hanged herself here before. Could it be that you just saw her ghost? Ah, how strange. How can one who has died still reenact the moment of their death? How can this be explained?" At the end of the story, the author adds this commentary. To reach the point of such extreme injustice that one takes their own life, how much pain must there be in one's heart? However, whether in life or in death, the most painful and unbearable moment must be that of preparing oneself, tying the knot, and hanging oneself. Perhaps, after death, one might instantly forget all other memories, but remember only that moment of pain, repeating it over and over again. Could it be that this was the most unforgettable moment of her life? The third story is titled, The Painter. In Suzhou, there was a painter whose name has been forgotten. He had a great fondness for painting Lu Dongbin, the revered Taoist immortal. Not only that, but he often imagined and hoped that one day he might have the good fortune to meet Lu Dongbin in person. This sincere wish occupied his heart, and he yearned for that day to come almost every moment. One day, the painter encountered a group of beggars drinking wine on the outskirts of the city. Among them was a man whose clothes were so tattered that his elbows were exposed, yet he carried himself with an air of grandeur and composure. The painter was suddenly struck by the thought that this man might be Lu Dongbin. He studied the man closely, becoming more convinced that his suspicion was correct. Without hesitation, he grabbed the man's arm and exclaimed, "You are immortal Lu." The beggar laughed heartily, but the painter persisted, believing without a doubt that this man was Lu Dongbin, and he knelt down to pay his respects, refusing to rise. The beggar said, "If I am indeed immortal Lu, what do you want from me?" The painter bowed his head and asked for guidance. The beggar replied, "Since you recognized me, it can be said that we are fated to meet. However, this is not the place for conversation. Let us meet again tonight." The painter tried to question him further, but the beggar vanished in the blink of an eye. Astonished, the painter returned home. That night, the painter indeed dreamed of Lu Dongbin, who said to him, "Seeing your single-minded devotion, I have come to meet you. However, your greedy and miserly nature will prevent you from becoming immortal. I can introduce you to someone." With that, Lu Dongbin waved his hand toward the sky, and a beautiful woman descended from above. She was dressed in the attire of a noble consort, her radiant appearance illuminating the entire room. Lu Dongbin said to the painter, "This is Lady Dong. Make sure to remember her carefully." He then asked, "Have you remembered?" The painter replied, "Yes, I have remembered." Lu Dongbin added, "Do not forget." After a moment, the beautiful woman departed, and Lu Dongbin also left. The painter woke up, feeling that the dream was extraordinary. He immediately painted the beautiful woman from his dream and kept the painting safe, though he could not understand what Lu Dongbin's words meant. A few years later, the painter happened to travel to the capital. At that time, Consort Dong, a beloved imperial concubine, had just passed away, and the emperor, mourning her virtuousness, sought out painters from the common people to create a portrait of her. Soon, many painters gathered, and palace officials described Consort Dong's appearance for them to imagine and portray. However, none of the resulting paintings resembled Consort Dong at all. At that moment, the painter suddenly recalled the beautiful woman from his dream and wondered if she might be Consort Dong. He decided to present the painting to the emperor. When the palace attendants saw it, they all exclaimed that it was a perfect likeness of Consort Dong. As a result, the emperor awarded the painter the position of secretariat assistant, but the painter declined the offer. The emperor then gifted him 10,000 taels of silver as a token of gratitude. Instantly, the painter's fame spread far and wide. Members of the royal family and nobility eagerly bestowed him with lavish gifts, asking him to paint portraits of their deceased ancestors. The painter would create these portraits from memory, and they all bore a striking resemblance to the deceased. Within just 10 days, he amassed an incredible fortune. Alright. That's all for today's ghostly tales, Old Man Do, the Hanging Ghost Woman, and The Painter. If you enjoyed them, please give a like and subscribe. Please also encourage everyone to comment and share more. We'll see you in the next episode.